Hi, what's going on? Welcome to the Jaguar Wright Effect. I am Jaguar Wright. It has been an interesting weekend thus far. Yesterday we did the weekend wrap up. I hope more people will come. For whatever reason, nobody's getting notifications to my channel anymore. So I need you guys to do a favor. For those of you who are here right now with me or replay gang, make sure you go back and check your notifications bell. Make sure you go back and you check and see if your notifications are on. I would suggest putting them on all. And once you do that, you're probably more likely to actually get a notification. I don't know. I'm thinking that maybe we need to figure out a new notification system because for whatever reason, YouTube just doesn't like notifying our subscribers here. It's like the more subscribers we get, the less notifications go out. And that's kind of sad. And please don't forget to hit the like button as you come in. Um, Also, sometimes people get unsubscribed. If you are subscribed and you're not sure about what's going on, sometimes just come in, unsubscribe, subscribe, unsubscribe, subscribe. Or maybe just come in and watch shorts. Like just put on like 3 or 4 shorts for a little while. And that helps the algorithm remember for whatever reason that you're a subscriber here. But yeah, thank you so much. I appreciate you. I see you guys coming into the room. I see you liking. That's awesome. For those of you who do not know, my name is Jaguar Wright. And here I am. So what are we talking about? We are talking about this EDP situation. Now, as I continue on in my journey, once again, I'm going to say it from the very beginning. I never set out to be a content creator. That was never my goal. That was never something that I wanted to do. That wasn't it. Honestly, I tolerated social media. I loathed social media so much because I saw how divisive it was. And not only that, I started realizing like pretty early on that on social media, on the internet, things can go from this to this like that so quickly. Reality just isn't reality anymore. It's like you hit that live button or you go online or you jump on a stream or you hit a link and instantly you're in the land of make-believe. Everyone's a cartoon. Everyone is, not a real person. So I guess if you're not a real person, right? If you're an NRP, it doesn't matter what you do or what anyone says it does to you, right? Because it's all make believe. It's no big deal. I mean, that's what most of the people believe. Like Brick Lady. Do you guys know the Brick Lady? The woman, she did 90 days last year for getting on the internet and creating a stir, making up a story, flat out lie, saying that someone had busted her in her face, a black guy with a brick, and she was this, she was that, and then she went online and she got all this sympathy, and I think she raised like somewhere like, I don't think it was more than 100,000. I definitely believe it was less than 100,000, maybe 40 or 50 grand, something like that. And yeah, and then she got busted. There was this content creator who was like really, really, really on her heels that goes by the name Celebrity, which is funny because she's not a celebrity at all. She does brag about her education and her degrees and whatever the case may be. And I guess Brick Lady was lying to her subscribers and saying that she had a PhD. So, I found it funny because this celebrity content creator is now back on Brick Lady's top, right? She's on her heavy. She is doing videos, and now other content creators who were talking about it as well, especially the ones from the Black Manosphere, because that story was right up their alley. Like, that story was right up the Black Manosphere's alley. Going after a chick who was accusing a Black guy of doing something to her that never happened. Like, Manosphere. The manospheres, whether they be the predominantly African American manosphere or, the more right, YT leaning manospheres, it's all the same. They hate women. Well, I won't say they hate women, but they're constantly up on checking women. So anytime there's another woman that's checking a woman, oh, they're all over it and they love it. So apparently this celebrity content creator has now decided that it's her job to continue to follow Brick Lady around, right? And basically catch her breaking her probation so she can force her to go back to jail. She did the 90 days, and I think if she breaks her probation, she'll have to go and serve the rest of her sentence in prison. So they hawked her and they hawked her and they hawked her and they chased her down and they chased her down and they chased her down and made sure that her case was criminalized. And now that she's out, they're chasing her down and they're chasing her down and they're chasing her down again to make sure she goes back to prison to serve her whole sentence so that they can have that for their content. It's very interesting. And guys, I appreciate those who were here, but we could do better with these likes. We could do a lot better with these likes. Come on, let's hit that like button. Let's do it. Let's make sure that the likes and the views are matching. So, like I was saying, it's really interesting how reality, for one, turns into a whole cartoon for another, just like that. Because let me say this, and let me make it clear. Do I agree with this brick chick? Absolutely not. I think she's part of the very, very, very sick culture that uses tragedy to raise money, to use a so-called tragedy as a grift, right? To get people to donate. And we see a lot of that. There are some causes out there that are worthy. And then there are some causes out there that are absolute, just fraudulent, not real, just totally fake in every way, shape, or form. And yet, most people just get away with it. I mean, one of the biggest grifts that people have been talking about is the fake Black Lives Matter fundraisers. And yeah, shout out to Tamika Mallory. She's very interesting. I'm finding her a very interesting activist. Like, you're gonna see me do a whole lot of air quotes during this live because, yeah, the internet is like a big air quote place, right? So nothing's really real here anymore, and I'm really starting to get a better understanding of that. And guys, please don't forget to hit the like. Please keep liking. Let them know we're here in the algorithm, because I'm going to be sharing some really interesting stuff as we're talking about this, and we're going to have some conversation about what's real and what's not real. And make no mistake about it, we will be talking about EDP445. We're going to get there. And I'm warming it up a little bit because there's a lot of people that I'm sure haven't gotten their notifications. So we're kind of just like having more conversation to talk about the well-rounded aspect of the conversation I'm having with you guys today. So, like I was saying, regarding the brick lady situation. And there's a reason why I'm talking about this. I'm going to be talking about a few things because what I want to do is I want to highlight. Ooh, I can't believe I just did that. It was subliminal. I want to highlight a culture that happens here online, right? I want to highlight it. I really want to bring focus. Oh, thank you so much for the gift. I want to bring focus to something that I think a lot of people miss. And it's something for me. And it's so weird because I'm sitting here. This is like the second time I've gone live. And I can't see any comments. No comments at all. I don't know what's going on with that. Do I need to do another update? Maybe, because it's kind of weird that I keep not getting the comments at all. Like, I have no idea what you guys are talking about. But hold on a second. Let me get in here. Let me get in here. Okay. All right. Let me see. Okay, so I have to actually look up on another device to see the comments. Okay, let's see who's here, by the way. Salute, salute, salute to all of our peoples in here who are the top people today. Malice, welcome. Malice was number 1 today. Coley, what's going on, beauty? Number 2 in the building. Archangel Michael, number 3, one of our moderators. Number 4, Auntie Leah, another one of our moderators. What's up? What's up? We got Myrna Sanchez in the building. We got Reese. We got Carla, Famalam. We have Brandon, Rochelle, Cadillac. And we got Mary by the Pool. Okay, Mary by the Pool. Those are our top 11 people that showed up today. All right, so that's what we got going on. Yeah, I swear, I literally, in order to see your comments, I have to pull it up on another device. So, okay, I see the highs. Thank you so much, Auntie Leah. Thank you for dropping the links. Appreciate you. You'll say, oh, wait a minute, Brandon said, you'll say it, they hate women. Okay. All right, who else do we got going on up here? And this is wild. Because I see, I swear YouTube be doing whatever they want to be doing, but welcome all. Welcome one, welcome all. So yeah, anyway, long and short of it, we have a very real situation, like I was saying, back to it, with Brick Lady and celebrity. So we have, and it's funny because in situations like these, you have, you know, arch nemesis, right? You have a protagonist, and then you have an antagonist, right? So usually a protagonist in a situation, they are the person that, you know, is living their life, doing their thing, whatever it may be, whether negative or positive. And then the antagonist is the opposing person. The person that is opposing with what the protagonist has going on, right? So pro and then anti, pro and anti. So it's odd because on the internet, the protagonist doesn't have to be a good person. On the internet, the protagonist can be an absolute scumbag, an absolute piece of crap. They could be doing all of the wrong things. lies. But the antagonist is the antagonist because they are literally antagonizing this person. And that's where this whole situation just gets very interesting. It gets very strange. Like the lines get blurred because you'll have these antagonist characters here on YouTube. And guys, please don't forget to keep hitting that like. You'll have these antagonist characters on YouTube, right? And what happens is they attach themselves to a target. And a lot of times what happens online is people will say stuff like, oh, they're terrible, they're awful, we need to take them down, they're a scam artist, or they're a liar, or they're a thief, or they're a grifter, or they're a this, they're a that, and we need to come together and we need to take this person down. And it all looks very noble. It all looks very proactive, right? It all looks like, hey, we're doing something good. But the problem with that I'm realizing now here, especially in the YouTube world, a lot of people are staging like activism when it's actually antagonism. Like there's a thin line between activism and antagonism. It's a very thin line. An activist can turn into an antagonist just like that with a choice. Because see, for me, if what you're doing is more about the content than it is about the calling, like, is it a calling or is it just for content? You know? Like people like Lennon Honor, who have made their life all about following Umar Johnson. All about following Umar Johnson. Everything. Umar. Umar in the morning, Umar at night, Umar in the afternoon. Umar in the morning, Umar in the evening, Umar in the afternoon. Umar's on my mind all day and I'm making more money too. Umar in the morning, Umar in the evening, Umar in the afternoon. Like it's just Umar. Umar. And it got so crazy that there's a whole sector around Umar. And apparently Lennon Honor has become the great antagonist, staged as activist in the Umar sector. You know? So, like I was saying, this celebrity, who's no celebrity at all, is following around this brick chick who lied to grift and scam. And she's terrible for doing it. And she's a real weirdo. She's a real weirdo. But apparently this celebrity person is following all of her socials because like part of her sentence for what she has going on is that she's supposed to stay offline for 10 years. And she got out of jail and she got right back on social media. She has an IG and she's promoting her GoFundMe. I'm sorry, not her GoFundMe. She's promoting her Patreon, which is monetized. So now this celebrity person is back on her. She's not supposed to be online. She's not supposed to be online. Look at what she's doing. We already caught her. We got her. She violated her probation and we did this and we did that. And I'm like, okay, so are you calling her probation officer or are you calling the judge? Like, what are you doing? All of this because now, and you're going to go back to jail and now you're going to have to serve all your time in jail. But like, And I know that you said you got a PhD, but I got degrees too. And I'm just trying to think to myself, what are your degrees in? Like, I hear about all of these so-called, like, really, really, really educated people online who spend all their time online, stalking and harassing people online, because I don't care what it is. I don't care if the person's good. I don't care if the person's bad. When I wake up in the morning, I research topics on which I'm going to be doing commentary on. We're, getting more heavy into our investigative journalism. That requires me to look certain things up. But what it doesn't require me to do is to find everybody that they know and find out who they were sleeping with, who they weren't sleeping with, who's willing to lie about sleeping with them, who they were hitting on, who they weren't hitting on. Like, there's just certain things that it's just too much. It's too much. And when most of your investigations are more about, nasty personal details about a person as opposed to what the real subject matter is. Like, okay, is she breaking her probation? There's a lot of people that break their probation. Boosie be breaking his probation all the time. He be doing all kinds of crazy stuff. Like, so is that what you do? Is it that's your content? Like, that's your stance? Your job, this celebrity person, it's her job to go around and follow everybody on social media to see who's breaking their probation so that she can go and advocate to make sure that they're penalized and that they have to go back to jail for breaking their probation. Like, that's what she does. That's her thing in life. That's her stance. Is that what it's all about? Or is it just that you're following this chick and you're watching her every move? Like, I don't have that kind of time to make my whole life about literally following. Like, I could make Tasha K content if I wanted to. I could make her content. That chick got enough going on for me to be talking about something that she's got going on every day. Every day. I sure could. She clout chased Cardi B to get a name, and then she jumped all over me. But that was a mistake. Because there was a lot of backlash for her about what she tried to pull on me. Which is why, next thing you know, there was this whole sector and a bunch of people attacking me that are attached to her. So she didn't have to do it. And every now and then she jump out of the closet, ooh, and make up a new lie or find a new weirdo to try to attach to my name, whatever the case may be. I could go and I could make her content. I could. I would have every right to do so. I know her to be a fraud. I know her to be a piece of crap. Absolute fraud and absolute piece of crap. And there are so many things that she does. There are so many grifts that she still be pulling. Like, I could make her forever content if I wanted to and just talk about it, talk about it, talk about it, talk about it, talk about it. But the truth is I don't really like to. She's a nuisance to me. Matter of fact, the only time that I actually talk about her now is when I'm pointing out the organization that I see that she's attached to. They do a lot of bad things online. Or when she's grifting everybody and people want to pretend like they don't realize she grifting. You know? So yeah. Like, that's really the only time I do it. I'm not interested in talking about her. I find it deplorable. And I find her very lowbrow. It kind of like baffles me how many people still try to put her up on a pedophile, a pedestal. Ooh, slip. Like, it just kind of trips me out. Like, how many people still try to put her on a pedestal in this day and age. But then I have to realize it's not that people really like her. It's the association. Like, when I hear people say, oh, she's an elite commentator. No, she's not. She's a skilled liar. See, even that, just thinking about all of the BS that comes from her makes me sneeze, because that's how allergic I am to her and her bullshit. But I'm not gonna do it. There's so many better things and other things to talk about other than her. More relevant things. And not only that, the more you talk about somebody, the more you give them life. Like if you really want to shut somebody down, all you have to do is just stop talking about them. Shut that whole thing down. Make it all go away. See? Because that's what happens. That's how energy works. You focus something in a certain direction, and then it keeps it going. It keeps it alive. That's why that whole FBA grift that her and that alpaca looking husband of hers, Schechner, that's what made that whole thing so disgusting. Because that was a whole grift to bring energy and attention back to their platforms. When people are willing to play those kind of games just to get engagement, that lets you know how bad they really doing. And it's wild because it worked. Like so many people fall for the grift. They fall for the energy siphoning grift. So I'm just looking at this celebrity person, right? Going after Brick Chick yet again. And what's the end goal? To make sure that she go back to jail? Because the judge already let her off the hook. She was supposed to pay $42,000 in restitution, but she ran through all of the money that she grifted and she ain't got no money, so she ain't got to pay it. So what next? I guess the only thing left is to make her go to prison? Okay, so you get her back in prison, then what? Who else is probation are you worried about? Are you worried about everybody who's violating their probation or just that one person? Like I said, protagonist, antagonist. There's a lot of that going on. I've had a lot of antagonists in my life, especially my online life. A lot of antagonists. You know, one moment I'm living my life, right? And I'm just me, and I'm a real person, living my real life. And then the next thing I know, here come the tunes. And now we're in this weirdo cartoon that's based and centered around my life with a bunch of lies and a bunch of chaos and a bunch of craziness. You know, recently, someone sent me a clip of someone online, as usual, grifting and lying on my name. And it was so funny because I'm sitting there and I'm listening, and this particular individual, very unseemly, just unsavory character. And the reason why I feel that way about this idiot is because they built their online persona around a very, very negative part of my past. And like, that's their whole claim to existence, like here online. Like, they're going to be the antagonist to my protagonist by pretending like, basically, they're pretending to be somebody that essayed me. And so anyway, they got online recently to defend their point. And what I listened to was just absolutely, utterly insane. Right? Because of course, this person wants to come and defend their fake name because they're impersonating another human being, which is supposed to be against the law on YouTube. Like you're not supposed to be against, it goes against the guidelines, right? Like you're not supposed to get online pretending to be another person. Like if you're going to be anon, then you're going to be anon. But this person is literally pretending to be another human being. And not only that, they're not even like the details that they have around this fake persona of theirs. It's crazy. What's even crazier though is the fact that people sat there and listened to all of that crap and tried to give it credibility, right? But they didn't bother to check any of the facts. This person said that they were a club owner and that they booked me for a performance and that I was unprofessional and sloppy and this, that, and the third, and that I was provocative with them, and I behaved in a very unprofessional manner, that I was trying to come on to them, and it was just such a terrible experience and all of this and all of that. And I'm like, okay, that's the story. That's the story that you're telling to justify you pretending to be someone that you're not, who actually happens to be one of the most monstrous people I've ever met in my life. And you're telling this story to justify continuing pretending to be this monstrous person who you're not. Who you're not at all. So I thought to myself, people are constantly questioning everything that I have to say and everything that I do, right? But nobody bothered. And it was so funny because this fraud, I think, said to the person that they were talking with, something about, you should do your research into this person. You know, you're just defending Jag because you like her, because you spoke to her, and you should do your research. Well, you know, I lay down the same gauntlet. You should do your research on this person. And this person should have to actually, because see, if you're going to get online and call someone a liar and then try to stand up against someone and say that this person is saying this and this person is saying that, then what you should have are facts. You should have proof, not just what you say, but you should have proof, right? People are always questioning me. Oh, Jag, where are your receipts? I show receipts plenty. People don't like to acknowledge them because, you know, it exposes their grift. But yet people get to get online and they get to tell their stories and they never have to show any proof. You know, it makes me think about that lawsuit from 2025 that Ariel Mitchell Kidd and Sean R. Perez included me in, that Diddy lawsuit, where they came up with this whole elaborate story about what I did and the part that I played in the essay of Ashley Parham, and that I did this and I brought people across a whole state line from Nevada to California against their will, right? And then I did all of these things, and it was very, very, very detailed, the lies that they put in that lawsuit, because I had an alibi. See, that's when they messed up. It's when most of these lying ass trolls usually mess up, when they try to get real specific. And they put a date on it. I think it was what, March 23rd, 2018. Just so happens that I was sitting in jail in Chicago fighting another case that I ended up beating. Once again, that I beat. They couldn't even take me to trial. The evidence that the cops gave the DA was so thin and so illegal that they couldn't even do a trial. Nulle prosequi. It would have been embarrassing for that to be on court record. Embarrassing. And guess what? Those cops, they got to keep being cops after they stole 4 months of my life. But hey, I guess that's the law. Whatever. So, long and short of it, Shawnar Perez and Ashley Parham and Ariel Mitchell Kidd made one very big mistake. They put somebody who had an airtight alibi in that lawsuit. And as you can see, the lawsuit ended up being dismissed. And it's funny because people talked about Drewski wanting to be taken out of it and Odell Beckham wanting to be taken out of it. And only one person reported on me asking to be removed because I had an airtight alibi, which nobody wanted to discuss. Nobody. Nobody. You would think that when that happened, that would have exonerated my character on so many different levels, and it would make people look a little bit closer at the fact that there has been a campaign that has been built around me to try to make me look like I am something that I'm not. Why has nobody gone after Ariel Mitchell Kidd at all to do any kind of content on Ariel Mitchell Kidd for attaching me to that lawsuit when it could be nothing more than a lie because I had an airtight alibi? I saw Murad Morelli and a couple other content creators sitting there talking about why Drewski needed to be taken out of it and why Odell Beckham needed to be taken out of it, but nobody wanted to do any talking points or any commentary on why was Jaguar Wright added to that fake Diddy lawsuit when she had an airtight alibi and they made up all of this stuff. Nobody bothered to go after those Jane Does and John Does that said that I did all of this stuff that they put me in this lawsuit. Why is that? And we could do better with these likes. We could use at least 80 more likes, like for real. Y'all tripping. Hit that like button. Because I'm keeping it a buck with y'all. I'm putting y'all on the game. Now, look at me, kicking my setup. So, long and short of it, let's just be real. These are the kind of things that happen online. People run to the internet, seeding all of these stories, whether they're real or fake, and all people do is gobble it up, and nobody asks any real questions. Once again, I'm outlining all of this for a reason before I get into the whole EDP thing. So here we have it. We've got this weirdo who wants to be a content creator, running around, telling a story, lying on me, impersonating a very terrible person, and then coming back with another story to try to justify their online internet impersonation. And it's all for the fact that I lie on black men and I'm doing this to get back at her, like real manosphere talking points that make absolutely no sense. And so my question to all of that is this, for everyone who wants to validate, no different than the fake Diddy lawsuit, March 23rd, I had an airtight alibi. There was no way I should have been included in that lawsuit. And anybody who thinks I'm gonna let that drop, which is part of the reason why I have a GoFundMe for my legal defense fund, to help aid me in getting justice as we document all of this and make sure that all of the findings and how all of these situations turn out will be available to the public so people can start protecting themselves against these predatory online antagonists who are doing it all for content, clicks and views, and AdSense money. Let's be clear. So, you got this fake person impersonating a terrible person who did a terrible thing to me, 17 years ago? Now, the story that this impersonator is telling is that they owned a club in Delaware and that they booked me for a certain amount. And that I came to their club and tried to come on to them. And then all of these years later, I make up a fake story about him to disparage him. And that's why he needed to come online to defend a name that is not his while he's impersonating being someone. And she said this and she said that, but this is what I did and this is what it was and this is what she did to me. And I'm sitting there thinking to myself, like, people really eat this crap up. People really believe all of this foolishness. And people use this for content, for clicks and views, so people will come and watch. And please, don't stop hitting that like. So I'm like, if this person really wanted people to believe him, don't tell a story, show some evidence. See, 17 years ago, I was still an actively touring artist, even as an independent artist. Still, I was still booking tours overseas. This person said that they paid me $1,000. That couldn't possibly be the case. Couldn't possibly. That barely covers my deposit. Even for appearances, I was still getting paid $3,000. And the only way I would do something for even as low as $1,500 was if it were a friend who asked me to come and support and help out. So I'm like, all right, yeah, $1,500. But and that's for appearances. That's not for a performance. That's for an appearance. I wouldn't even go out of my house to go sit with nobody at their club or at their event for anything less than $1,500. So I don't know what this 1,000 is. And you said this person said they booked me for a show. They would have had to pay a deposit. And the thing is, I had a booking agent and a personal manager at the time. They wouldn't have spoken to me. They would not have spoken to me. What's the name of the booking agent? What's the name of the personal manager who you talked to? You would have also had to have done a contract. And you would have had to have given a deposit, which you would have had to have paid taxes on. So you would have record of it, especially if you had your own club. What's even wilder is they said the club was in Delaware. 17 years ago, I didn't do any shows in Delaware at all. I never did shows in Delaware. Matter of fact, the last two shows that I did in Delaware, one was me and Raheem Devon. That was like 2011, somewhere between 2011 and 2013. And then even after that, during the time that I had moved to Texas. So we're talking between 2015 and 2017? Or maybe 2018? Like, Gerald Veasley and his wife Roxanne Veasley, they booked me. They had something that they were doing down there, and they asked me if I would come because they were booking some stuff, and I was doing that as a warm-up, and then we were doing our shows at South on Broad Street with the Bynum Boys. Oh, that was the last show that I did in Delaware. I did that for them. If people in Delaware wanted to come see me perform, they would just come to whatever club I was playing at in Philadelphia or whatever theater I was. The matter of fact, yeah, it was that one club, and then I did theater with Raheem Devine. And guess what? There's flyers for all of those. So that's the last question that I have to ask this so-called person who said that they booked me for $1,000 17 years ago in Delaware. Where's the flyer? Because Facebook did exist, and a lot of people who had clubs or promoted a night or something like that, they always posted their flyers on Facebook. And guess what else? They would tag me. And guess what else? I would repost. I was always very good about that. Anytime someone was promoting an appearance or a show of mine, if they tagged me to it, I would repost and make sure that all of my followers saw it as well. That impersonator who's created a whole YouTube persona has no flyer, has no tax record, has no receipt, nothing. Where's the contract? Who did you talk to? What was my personal manager's name at the time? What was my booking agent's name at the time? Because that's who you would have had to have talked to in order to book me to do anything, especially if it was a show. And like I said, unless you were a close friend, I wouldn't come out of my door to come and sit at your party for 45 minutes to an hour for anything less than $1,500. I got paid a lot more than that for my shows. More importantly, if it was a show, what kind of show was it? Was it a track show? Or was there a band? Did you provide a band? What kind of show was it? Like, this is the thing that be tripping me out. People literally get online and just tell whatever swivel, whatever just bull, swill, lie, cat stories with no proof, no evidence of anything. And people sit there and they defend these liars. And they defend these weirdos because it's provocative, right? See? Protagonist, antagonist. See? Like, we go from reality, my actual real life, reality, to this tune shit, real quick. You know, it just don't add up. If there's one thing I am, and I have always been, is a professional when it comes to my gigs. The things that people say, the things that these online weirdos make up just to get attention, to attach themselves to something relevant, to find relevance for themselves. So I say all of that. And by the way, come on, guys, we can do better with these likes. We could use at least 50 more likes. Because I've been, ooh, let me have a sip. Because what I promise you is this. That imposter making up shit on my name won't be able to produce any relevant receipts that I just rattled off. Which would prove what? That they are a stone cold, bow-faced lie. Their platform should be removed for impersonation, which goes against YouTube guidelines. And I know it's eating that hoe up because I'm not even gonna say that name. But everybody know. And please, I want to thank everyone. Please and thank you. First, I want to thank everyone for the gifts. Appreciate y'all. But you know what? We appreciate the kind of jingle, but we rather have the kind info. Feel free to send a cash app or feel free to leave a super chat. We appreciate you. As much as I'm lied on and as much as people use my name to grift and come up with all kinds of crap, I think I deserve to be donated to as well. With all the liars out here grifting and scamming their way to some kind of monetary success. So, once again, talking about this protagonist, antagonist, let me check the comments because it's been a minute since I got down in here with y'all. Yes, fake lawsuits. Yup. Resident bird. Oh. Yeah, Michael, I'm not even gonna say the name, but you understand. Lying piece of crap. Facts. Your whole set and band and you all were fresh to death. So fly. Oh, well, thank you. On that last video that I did from that last performance that I did that was posted up that has over 500,000 views on it before they cut it off and killed it in the algorithm so it wouldn't make any more noise. I know. Terrible, terrible. Looney Tunes. Why would someone, Mike D says, why would someone impersonate someone so vague? Because they're lying pieces of grifting crap. Yes, Kat. Are they paying it? I am getting it all down real slow. Yes, I am, Kat, and I hope they are paying attention. The best part is free one of singing experience she drops on us every now and then. Oh, I do. Right, even Mo3 had his flyer receipt. I know. That's what I'm saying. Like, I just find it interesting how these people get to get online. Ooh, TikTok does go the cock. Oh, you had a live Jaguar experience? Oh, honey. Ooh, they in their feelings. Y'all better like this video up because they are doing too much. Yes, they messing with my life. They literally just kicked me out of my life. I wonder why. I wonder why. Unbelievable. But anyway, back to what I was saying. There's this culture I've noticed that this fraud scam, protagonist, antagonist relationship that happens online. And I'm just watching. I'm watching. I'm looking. I'm observing what's real, what's not real. So let's get down to this EDP situation. Let's get down to it. You know, over these past couple of weeks, there have been some really, really, really interesting, unsavory characters, mostly African American. And we were talking about this on the weekend wrap up, but mostly African American, who've been messing with, dealing with the young tenders, the low agers, low in age, the young tenders. That's what we call them around here now. We call them the young tenders. And either we call, the PDFers, or I'm calling them the PPs, the Pied Pipers. But I just find it interesting because, has anyone noticed that the more they talk about these other people, the less we're hearing about the Jeffrey E. files? And it's funny because, the second that people started talking about that again, the next thing you know, they start giving you all of these other weirdos to look at. I guess that's the internet's way of saying, hey, we want you to stop talking about that crazy Yamaka boy who probably has ties to the Central Intelligence Agency, Mossad, and a few other international intelligence agencies, and we just want y'all to stop talking about it. So let's just feed the algorithms with as many unsavory perverts as we possibly can. And that's, yes, little fires of distraction everywhere. Anything to not talk about Jeffrey E. And it's funny because I didn't want to say anything, but they came after our platform because we had shared some stuff regarding the Jeffrey E. files. And I've been noticing that my views have been affected ever since. So I guess that's their way. Punish every platform that will have the audacity to expose the truth. So here we are. We're talking about other weirdos now. Does that make you guys feel better? Do you feel better? Oh, I keep forgetting. I'm keeping it too real. Let's get back to the tune of it all. So, because I guess as long as I'm a tune, no one has to really take me seriously, right? Nobody has to take me all that seriously, right? Oh, honey, we can't even get into the Palm Beach Pete of it all. But we'll get there, but not today. Not today. Not once a day. Because we got to get through this. We got to get through Toonville, right? So, EDP EDP445. You know, when I saw what his real screen name was, because I finally watched the whole documentary, all hour and a half of it, and we are going to be doing a watch party, most likely on Kick and Patreon. If you're a member, you'll be able to access the live as well, but we're going to be doing a watch party on Kick. So we'll probably be opening up like we usually do on our Sundays, and then we'll just be predominantly on Kick. And like I said, if you're a member on Patreon, you will have access to the stream once we've finished. You know, and I think y'all might really want to show up to this watch party that we're doing, because no one's going to be able to do the kind of commentary that I'm going to do on this. Nobody. That I promise you. Oh, live watch party reaction. It's a total travesty, this documentary. Like, it's a train wreck on so many different levels. I can't even begin to explain. It is a train wreck. It is a car crash. It is probably some of the saddest stuff I've ever seen, and it's so ridiculous. And I just want to make it very clear, I'm not going to put all of the responsibility when it comes down to this on the platform. I am going to be talking about some of these content creators that are involved. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Like, it was super interesting because his name alone would eat ussy, will eat that ussy 445. That's his screen name. Eat that ussy with a P. 445. And the 445 was how much he weighed. 445 pounds. I don't know. I guess he's aiming to actually live up to the title, Tons of Fun. The simple fact that that was his screen name, which got acronymed down to EDP. There's something very wrong with this documentary. And there's something very wrong with the content creators that were involved in exposing this guy. Is he clearly a PDF? Absolutely. He blatantly had no problem with admitting that he had a thing for and had absolutely no problem with smashing the young tenders. The kind of language that he would use. I just want to violate your innocence. And to say that with a smile on his face. Which is wild. I want to violate your innocence. What a thing to say. But the first string of content creators, I want to make sure I have all of this right, because honestly, remembering these people's names, it's kind of sickening to me, because honestly, I think that all of them are scumbags. They're all disgusting, and I'm going to explain why. Like, watching that doc didn't make me dislike EDP more than I dislike the content creators that so-called exposed him. Because they're scumbags and scavengers. Like, okay, so this is just basically the rundown, all right? EDP, whose real name is Bryant Moreland, known online as EDP445, was exposed and caught in an online sting operation in April of 2021 by members of a vigilante group that goes by the Predators, led by Alex Rosen, who also posted under channels like Chet Goldstein, alongside a collaborator operating the channel CC Unit. Okay, so the expose and the sting operation. The decoy, right? Okay, so members of predator poachers posed online as a 13-year-old girl and engaged in illicit conversation with Moreland. The confrontation, Alex Rosen and his team traveled to Bakersfield, California, and recorded a face-to-face confrontation with Moreland when he arrived to meet their decoy. I thought it was kind of strange that they were at like an assisted living for elderly people out there in Bakersfield. I thought that was a little weird. And salute, thank you for the super chats. Okay, and now here we have the fallout. Okay, so the viral video and released message log resulted in YouTube permanently banning the channels associated with the group and removing Westmoreland's accounts from the platform. Okay, so that was the initial one. Now let's be clear about this. There wasn't actually a 13-year-old girl for the first expose. These were content creators who got wind from another guy who was a content creator who just hated EDP's guts. Said, hey, this guy follows a lot of a lot of young tenders. And they're telling me that he's soliciting. So they decided that they was going to pretend. And they was going to do their own little sting. Now, the biggest problem that I have with this is you want to go after PDFers? Excellent. You want to hunt down predators? Excellent. Excellent. Do that. But how about, rather than being worried about making it content, Once you get a decent amount of evidence to prove that this guy is, you know, going after or willing to go after the young tenders, take it to the police, take it to the district attorney, and then let them pick up the investigation. Let them do that. And then see if they'll interview with you once they've made an arrest. Make it a documentary, follow the story until his conviction. But no, see, they decided to do too much, put it online so it can go viral, make a bunch of money off of it, allow a bunch of other content creators to jump onto this story so they could make a bunch of money off of it. Like, there were so many YouTubers in this documentary. It was kind of wild. But then I had to remember all of this originated on YouTube, so. But their efforts made it impossible for him to be prosecuted. But then again, like he said, nothing happened. He went and got himself a lawyer, and he learned how to protect himself. That was the first. We're going to look at the second time, because see, this happened more than once. Okay, now the second, okay, Jadeon Adams. This guy I got a real issue with. Okay, so we got the subsequent involvement. Here we go. Jadeon and Skeeter Jean. DeGeon later brought further attention and public spotlight back to EDP445's ongoing online activities, collaborating on subsequent tracking and coverage. Okay, so let's talk about that. These idiots decided that they was going to sit there and they was going to ambush this man at the dialysis office, at the doctor's office. He got too smart. He wasn't going to be lured anywhere anymore. So instead, they hunted this man down, this pedo. Are you kidding me? Are you kidding me? This is insane. Are we back? Are we back? Put a 1 in the chat if we're back. I just want to make sure before I keep going. Okay, we're back. Fabulous. So, this Jadeon person and this Skeeter. Number one, I don't know how anybody could trust anybody with the name Skeeter. And I don't know what it is about the name Jadeon that makes me think of Grey Poupon or Dijon mustard. Mustard on that beat, ho. I don't know why, but that's what it puts me in the mind of. So there's so many more problems with that second exposure. Number one, a grown-ass man showing up in a cupcake costume to approach a PDF for content. It is greasy. It's crazy work. It's crazy work. A grown-ass man dressed in a cupcake costume. Little cupcake. You about as screwed in the mind as the EDP. But the Jadeon person, him and there was a young woman who's involved. She is of age now, but at that time she was 15 years old. And see, this is where it gets a lot more crazy to me. Because he was actually speaking to this girl. And she was the honeypot for Jadeon and the Skeeter guy. They used a real live young tender to entrap a 30-some-odd-year-old grown-ass man. Somebody twice her age. He sent pictures and video, apparently, of his intimate parts and evidence of his climax. Pictures of him. And from what he said, he got pictures of her. Now, they say, the antagonists say, that they just took her face and photoshopped it on somebody else's body. But he say they really are her. At this point in time, you got a young woman, you got a young tender exchanging and receiving pornography. That's against the law. I think I told y'all not that long ago about a story of a young woman that I met while I was being held in jail for a crime that I didn't commit, that I was later cleared of and exonerated for. She had a boyfriend, and her boyfriend had a little brother who used to play on his phone, and she was sending pictures and videos to her boyfriend. And one day the little brother had the phone. She was sending pictures. And he had went through his brother's phone and saw the pictures. And then he asked her, actively pretending to be his older brother, to send more. Then, in that moment, which he then shared with all of his young tender friends, which of course a parent discovered. And that young woman was arrested and tried and convicted for, you know, molesting and sending pornography to a young tender. And she was going on the registry. The simple fact that that kind of interaction was going on with a young tender who was being used as a honeypot. Like, as far as I'm concerned, Skeeter and DeGion should be charged with facilitation and child endangerment. Why haven't they been charged? Like, I find a lot wrong with this story. And now even the girl, though she's of age now, is saying that she feels like she's more of a victim of the content creators than she is the predator. See, make you no mistake about it. Was he a predator? Absolutely. The things that came out of his mouth, the things that he said about what he would do with young tenders and what he wanted to do, how he wanted to destroy people's innocence and all of that stuff. And it's wild, because meanwhile, while he was doing most of that talking, he was a virgin. He hasn't had a lot of physical interaction in his life, so he was just running his mouth. So he could goon himself half to death. Like the simple fact that there was a point in time in his life where he gotten so sick and he was still manipulating himself to the point where he was vomiting black bile and releasing red ejaculate. Goes to show you there's something wrong with this guy. There is something very wrong with Brian Moreland. There's something very wrong with anybody who sends pictures of their fecal deposits. That literally take the time to go on the toilet after they've finished evacuating their bowels and take a picture to send it to people. There's something wrong with him, that's clear. The problem is, why didn't y'all just go to the authorities? Why did y'all need to make it content to make money off of it, to go viral? Yeah, the DeGion and or the Gideon, the Dejanay's, and the Skeet boy. Why aren't they being investigated? Because they were willing to put a young tender in harm's way. Like, that's endangering a minor. But they weren't worried, right? Because they already knew what he was going to do and what he wasn't going to do. And they went through all of that and they got nothing. And once again, he's publicly being exposed, and it's done so unlawfully that nobody's interested. Because see, the truth is, in either one of those situations, if he had gone to court, if any of it had gone to court, his lawyer would then have the ability to be able to argue the fact that it was all staged, that everyone was in on it, including him, for the sake of content. There's something wrong in this world right now where people are so thirsty to become famous and so thirsty to make money that they're willing to take a real life situation, a dangerous real life situation that a lot of people go through, and turn it into some cartoon shit for content. That's the one thing that became very clear in that documentary, that nobody was really concerned about the victimization of young tenders. Nobody was really concerned about whether or not this guy was actually going to be held accountable and to go away for his behavior and for his actions. Everyone was concerned with the content. This Jadeon person, 70,000 people in his Discord, all young people. What? That's not even possible. I actually went and looked, and it was trying to say that the video had ended. What is going on? Y'all don't want me to talk about Mr. Jeffrey, so I'm talking about your EDP. That's what y'all want everybody to talk about, right? Y'all want us to talk about the preferred pervs, right? Who y'all would prefer us to talk about, and then when we talk about it, it's a problem? Three times you shut me down? 1, 2, 3 times you shut me down? For what? This is insane. Back up off my feet. Let me cook. So anyway, like I was saying, like, it's bad enough y'all sitting here playing with my views. There should be at least 1,000 people in here. It don't make no sense. I'm cooking. Y'all hating. Woo! But anyway, back to what I was saying regarding Bryant Moreland, aka EDP445, as deplorable and terrible as his behavior and his actions and his choices are. I mean, and by the way, I just want to say, Bryant, I'm glad you have an AI girlfriend, and I'm glad that you're enjoying the gratification that your AI girlfriend is bringing to your life of gooning. I'm sorry that you're not able to have a real relationship with a real woman and that you feel more comfortable living in your very twisted mind. But dang, you poor guy. What I will say is this. I want to give you a proper interview if you'd like to have one, Bryant Moreland. Like, I find it interesting that you're an Eagles fan. That's interesting. Like, I'm a Philadelphian, you know what I mean? I grew up, fly, Eagles, fly, go Eagles, fly, Eagles, fly. Like, yeah, all of that. And I'm not going to lie, it kind of made me almost want to gag that you're an Eagles fan because of who you choose to be in your life. I feel bad for the people who tried to sit there and make him seem like he's not a bad guy, because I'm telling you something right now. Anybody who willfully goes after young people and brags about it is audacious enough to do it on social media and do it online. Like, anybody who's doing these things is not a good person. Even bad people can do good things. Even bad people can do good things. But, you know, just... And then I started noticing towards the end of the documentary that it was like they were trying to slowly creep in sympathy. What's going on with all of this sympathy for pedos these days? You got Funky Dineva making excuses for the likes of David Burke. At the same time, Sydney Starr gets busted. People still lying about that kid's age, because the kid that Sydney Starr went after was not 17. The young tender that Sydney Starr went after, that Sydney Favors went after, was 13. Sydney Favors was in their 40s. When I was growing up, I was involved with older guys before I turned 18. I gave birth to a child at 16 by a guy who was 10 years older than me. If that had happened now, he would be in jail. They would have came after him. But back in those days, people weren't so quick to defend the naivete of a young person, or to hold an adult accountable for their bad deeds. It wasn't until I got older that I realized how unfair it is for those kind of interactions between someone that much older and someone that much younger really is. See, my mind and my judgment was clouded by the people around me. I come from a family where it was quite common for much, much older men to be involved with much, much younger women. And I think a lot of people tend to forget that if you go all the way back to slavery days, much older men went and got themselves very, very, very young, fertile brides. If one wife passed away, go and get another one, younger. Like, if you watch the movie Color Purple, Mr., who was married to Celie, had had to be in his late 30s, early 40s when he married young Celie after her father passed away. She was a girl, 12, not even, I don't even think she was 13 years old, somewhere around there, that character. And her sister Nettie was just a couple of years younger than her. And Mr. had no problem with having himself a time on those young tenders. See? So for me, I have to ask the question, are we trying to turn the clock back? Are we trying to take it back to the old days? You know? Are we really trying to take it there? Are we trying to get things to the point where it's all right for these behaviors to become mainstream again? Because that's the way it used to be. Older men, 20, 30, sometimes even 40 years. Like if y'all remember, even after Celie grew up and, I'm sorry, yeah, because her father hadn't passed away. I think it was her mother that had passed away, and then she got married off, and then Nettie got sent out with her. But her dad, after he finally passed away, let me get the story right. After he finally passed away as a very old man, and she got her inheritance at the funeral, even his wife was a very young woman, much younger than Celie. So like these were customs that happened. It's still wrong and it's still unfair. Young women and old men. And now it's not just young women and old men. It's old men and young boys too. But listening to him say that, I want to F your innocence away. Him saying it that way, Bryant Moreland, EDP. Just watching that and looking at him with the smile on his face. I want to F your innocence away. And the gratification on his face just saying it, even though he was a virgin. He was a virgin. That's, it's kind of disturbing. So, oh, I don't think people understand how serious of a problem we have online when guys like EDP get online spouting their hate rhetoric and their incel no wonder he is a big fan of the Tates. because he thinks that the Tate brothers are everything. He likes all of the very, very, very compromised people. And it doesn't help that he's MAGA, because honestly, somebody like him claiming MAGA is terrible for MAGA. It's terrible for the administration, especially considering that they just posted a very questionable song from that saucy Satan person who had the audacity to say that they're being blessed right now and that God did it. And my thing is what God? Which God you talking about? Because I know plenty of Satanists, and they call Satan God too. So exactly which God are you talking about, Saucy Santana? Like, which God? Which God are you referring to? Well, yeah, you talking about fishing and being quiet on the creek. With a bunch of young-looking people in the video wearing backpacks, and you're in a school while you're bouncing your man breast up and down as if that's attractive in any way. You are fat and nasty. You just not as fat as EDP, but you're fat and nasty. The true living God don't bless no mess. So I now understand what God you're speaking about. Y'all got to stop giving credit and credence and giving accolades to people who just say stuff like God. Oh, God is blessing me. God did this and God did that, and whoop-de-whoop-de-whoop. Make sure you know what God they talking about. Make sure you actually understand what God they serve, because the last time I checked, the God that Saucy Santana served, his name is Diddy, and he's in jail. Same God Carisha served, same God Drewski served. Like, we got to start being a little bit more real about the things that we're seeing and the things that we're saying and the things that we repping. So I want to ask y'all a question. Yeah, EDP said God was the reason he didn't go to jail. It's funny because at the end of the thing, it said that the statute of limitations or what he done hadn't been up, and law enforcement has until 2027 to file charges against him. What I want to know is, why aren't the feds involved? Why leave it up to the state of Nevada? Why aren't the feds involved? The feds should most definitely be getting involved in this. And the content creators that are involved should be looking at criminal charges as well. Especially that Dejanay's man and the Skeeter boy. What y'all were willing to do for content, and the way y'all were willing to put a young girl in as a honeypot to run a play for content. It's disgusting to me. And I don't see why people aren't more outraged. I don't see why people aren't blackmailing these boycotts. Boycotting these blackmail content creators, because that's what they was doing. They was blackmailing this pedo to make salacious content that went nowhere legally. Now, congratulations, I guess, to the content creator Celebrity, because the person that she was after, the protagonist that she was after, actually got some criminal charges, some criminal time, but I just find it funny that the female who got busted for grifting had to go to jail, and EDP is still walking around talking crazy, popping off shotties, calling everybody out their name, doing all kind of wild stuff. And he's sitting there literally on camera admitting to and bragging, yeah, I like rubbing one out, looking at little kids. Like, thank God for his AI girlfriend. So this way he don't have to keep on going after you. You don't need a real life young tender. You can have an AI young tender. I bet you he was the kind of guy that used to goon off to Japanese anime too. We got some real strange people online. Real strange. Why aren't the feds involved? The feds have been going after so many predatory. Why ain't they going after these people? Why ain't they going after the content creators? Playing vigilante and putting real life young tenders in harm's way. I mean, that's child endangerment. So I just want to ask you guys, take a little poll maybe. If I can get an interview with EDT, Bryant Moreland, would y'all be interested? Just yes or no. Would you be interested if I can get an interview? Because there's some questions that I want to ask him about the content creators that were antagonizing him and how he feels about some of the stuff. Like, I want to talk to him about that. Because when you got the so-called victims of the PDFers saying that they feel more violated by the content creators than they do the actual predator, I don't know. I see a yes. You don't think we should give them a platform? I see a yes, yes. I see an absolutely, a hell yes. Well, see, this is the thing. It's not about giving him a platform. Trust me, he's been platformed by all kinds of people. That documentary has been out for less than a week, and it already has almost 5 million views. This isn't about me platforming him. This is about me having a real conversation with this individual, this depraved individual, and asking him questions that ain't nobody asking him, and seeing if he has the balls to answer, because he seems to be very bravado. I think we deserve deeper questions. How do I feel about the documentary? I feel like it was shallow. It was one-sided. It was very one-sided. And then the way they took it at the end, where it was like low key doing PDF of sympathy, was interesting. But I tell you one thing, as long as people are talking about EDP445, you don't see too many people talking about Jeffrey E. and that island that you do not. It's interesting. It's very interesting. I'm telling y'all right now, Maria says, I started watching. I had to stop because I had to leave, but I'm going to continue it. Well, if you want to join the watch party tomorrow, please do, because we're going to be dropping the link as we're watching. I want everybody to weigh in. We need absolute transparency because there's something more going on here. There's something more going on here. And I'm sick and tired of seeing these rogue like content creators who, in my opinion, are just as disgusting as the so-called people that they chase. I know what it's like to be chased by a bunch of weirdo content creators. What I find funny is their antics and the things that they do are the same, whether a person is innocent or guilty. That's where that to me is troubling. It's the same kind of antics. It doesn't matter if you're good, it doesn't matter if you're bad. They use the same antics to go after people, to try to destroy people, to try to tear people apart, to try to shut people down. Either they're glorifying or highlighting a really, really, really despicable person as a great distraction, or they're trying to destroy someone who's highlighting and bringing awareness to the public in ways in which they need it to be done. And so they use the same tactics to tear somebody down, to silence someone and distract people away from listening to them. But at the end of the day, it's all distraction. Whether they're distracting you from looking at what they don't want you to see or distracting you from listening to what you need to hear. Y'all sat here in this live. I haven't said anything crazy. I ain't done a whole bunch of cussing. I've stayed within the guidelines. I done everything right. And they shut me down, what, 3 times? But let me be talking something crazy. Let me be talking something reckless. Let me be doing something that's completely over the top and against guidelines. And I am telling you, they'll let these numbers run up. Anything to stop whatever. Yeah, so watch party begins tomorrow. We'll go as long as we can. And then what we don't Hey,
I don't know why you sent the link to this one. I'm sitting
I
over here,
wasn't
you know.
trying I wasn't trying to send the link to
Oh no, it's
anyway.
it's all right. It's all right. Hold on. Let me get it together.
You don't have to. You don't have to.
No. Everything is good. Why you say I don't have to?
It doesn't matter.
Hold on. Hold on. Give me one.
I was surprised.
About what?
Nothing. Let me let me unfake myself. You see how they keep cutting me off? Four, four times.
Like, yeah, so many times. But the first time I saw it was frozen, I thought my phone was tripping. But yeah.
They're out to get this channel. I don't know what's going on. And it's crazy because at this time of the day, the numbers should definitely be a lot more than what the numbers are.
Well, you know what that is. If you were to continue to talk, about what was it?
Hello? You there? Hello? I don't know. Did something cut out? Because I was just trying to turn my camera off for a second. Completely? Can you hear me? Okay. I need to do something. I'll be right back. Keep talking to the people.
What up, y'all? Um, yeah. You say y'all can't hear me? You say you can? Oh wait, you can hear me. Okay, all right, all right, all right. Um, yeah, yeah. What's up, y'all? Yeah, I was just listening in. I was handling business. But no, we appreciate all y'all in here. Yeah, this is Liar. We just gonna call him Liar Liar. We know what it is. I think y'all really.
Hello?
They'll let you talk all kind of mess about some some black men, right? But let you talk about them people on them e-files. And you know. So yeah, yeah, yeah. Go ahead. Go
So
ahead.
come
I'm
on,
sorry.
guys, let's get it up. And I want to thank everybody for the gifts and thank everybody for the super
Can't
chats.
hear you.
Appreciate you. Hello?
Can't hear you. Get back. Get back.
You can't hear me?
I barely can hear you. Maybe I don't know if it's my phone. I don't know. Hold on.
That's crazy.
What is?
Uh, it looks like they messing with you. They hating. I promise you. Every time we start getting too real, they go tune on us. They go crazy cartoon on us.
Hold on.
Every time we get
Are you
real.
there?
Yeah, I'm here. Can you hear me?
Is it
Salute for
me
the
or
Uncle Alert.
am-
Appreciate you.
I guess I'm the problem. Okay. I hear.
Can we at least get 25 more likes before we get up out of here? Because we about to wrap this up. They mad. They mad. They super
Yeah, and just
mad.
let them stay mad. That's all they gonna be is just mad.
I guess I talked too much truth today, huh? I
It's
still
nothing
had no
wrong. It's there's
comments.
I say nothing. There's no such thing as too much truth. I say that.
I still don't got no
I still
comments.
don't
I
got no
can't see the comments.
comments.
I have to
I
look on
can't see
another
the comments. I have to
device.
look on another device. Oh, that's wild. Yeah, yeah. You know how they do.
You know how they do.
You know how they do. So, what's the consensus? I think it cut out for me when
People,
you
well, there was
know.
more people
Well,
that
there
said
was more
yes than
people that
no
said yes and
to
no
the
to
interview
the
with Bryant
interview
Moreland.
with Bryant Moreland. More people said yes. Okay. Yeah.
All right, for those
All right. For those
we hear you. So yeah,
here.
tomorrow we're gonna get
So yeah,
started with the
tomorrow
watch
we're gonna get
party and all
started
of
with the
that.
watch party and all of that. Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Okay.
So do you have
So
anything
do you have anything
left to say?
left to say? I mean, you hit the nail on the head from everything that I had heard you speak on.
Ah,
But no, yeah, this is just them with the whole repositioning as far as the conversation. Who's the acceptable monster? You know?
that part.
So just like look, I'm gonna tell y'all about who remember Toronto Burke KRS too. Remember Toronto Burke?
Mm. Yeah, from Me Too.
Yeah, from Me Too. That's okay. That I couldn't think of the organization's name. Me Too. You know, she literally said, "Hey, well, it ain't our job to go after white men." When it were talking about the whole Me Too movement, because it's a well-known fact in Hollywood, especially Hollywood. You know, you got a lot more of those predators versus the Bill Cosbys and the R. Kellys. You know what I'm saying? Um, so yeah, like she was like, yeah, well, it's not my job to go after white. It's only my. She basically says it's only her job to go after the black man. So if you can read the writing on the wall, or you see really what that whole movement was for, and you pointed out a lot of inconsistencies with that whole little movement too.
Yeah. The Me
Yeah,
Too movement
the Me Too
up and
movement
disappeared like a
up
fart in
and
the
disappeared
wind.
like a fart in the wind. And I'm pretty sure they were doing their job, which is intelligence, uh, like gathering intelligence. Because if someone really was a victim and they really wanted to out someone,
You're breaking up for me real
alleged, and it's like,
bad.
you're breaking up for me real bad. Okay, how about now?
A little
How
better.
about now? Do you hear me
A
now?
little better.
A little better. Okay. A little better. Okay. What I'm saying is I'm sure they were a, let's say, intelligence collection agency. If you really want my opinion, they had their targets, they had who they needed to get, and then
Mhm.
there's real victims out there, real victims that are real survivors of let's just say it was someone like I don't know who's kind of bankable, well liked within Hollywood, and let's just say a victim of that person came out and said, "Hey, I'm gonna really there, help me," and Me Too they probably got their information and sidelined them because it's like, oh well, that's not one of the those are the ones, that's one of the ones we got to protect, so we can't put this person on blast. Um,
I don't think people
and again, I don't
understand
think
that a
people
lot of
understand
times
that a lot of times
when people
when people
when they start these
when they start
organizations,
these organizations,
It's done as a reconnaissance mission
Yeah.
to stop full exposure.
Exactly.
And people
Yep.
wonder why. I chose not to just keep dropping names. Got a little toonie out there. Yeah. And thank you for holding us down while I stepped away.
I mean,
I had a deadline
I
that had
wouldn't say I
passed
was
an
holding
hour
in.
ago.
Did it get fixed? No, huh? Yeah. It's all good. Yeah,
So
no, it's
I,
okay.
you
Don't
know,
trip. I'm sitting over here,
I'm not.
there's a whole little water heater situation that still ain't done, but yeah, just you know how that goes. Everybody got it around the house, anyway.
Thank God for a handyman. So, guys, on that note, we about here. Don't believe the hype. And we'll see you tomorrow for our Sundays. EDP, you a wild boy. I tell you that. Have you got a chance to finish
No,
the documentary yet?
no, I will. No, I'm gonna actually, yeah, I'm looking it out right now.
Whew. Yeah, you need to get caught up before tomorrow.
Of course.
All right, guys. I wish we could have 10 more likes before we
Yeah.
leave because they really are trying to kill all engagement on this channel. But I would appreciate it if we could get at least 10 more likes. And replay gang, get us to 1,000. Get us all the way home. Cause they hating hard on the sisters platform. They hating hard. It's kind of wild. I guess I'm saying too much real stuff. Okay, come on, guys. We almost there. 10 more. We almost there. Just 10 more likes. That's it. Almost there. Come on, 10 more likes. Y'all can do it. Do it. Sure can. We getting there. We getting there. Almost. Don't mind me, guys. Don't forget, I gotta keep checking the comments on another channel. We almost there. Come on, we can do it. We can do it. Let's get there. We can do it. 10, come on. Just hit it. Y'all know what to do. A little closer, a little closer. Come on. There we go. All right. That's all. That's all I wanted before we left. And I want to thank everyone for showing up. And until we meet again, peace.